Welcome, everyone, to episode 210 of Weekly Games Chat.
Total overuse.
I don't care.
Of the new filter. Totally.
It just has to be done, though, doesn't it?
I mean, I guess, dude.
I don't know how to avoid it, right? It started something, and it can't be turned off. No matter how hard we try.
I'm taking it back.
You can't take it. It's not yours.
Oh, what happened?
You haven't given me $1. To be fair, I told you not to give me $1.
But do you want $1? I bought you a Coke.
I would just like something with my Richard.
I'm like 4 weeks in on Cokes.
Kane?
No.
Oh.
There's let me get this donut. Are you going to intro the show or are we just going to talk?
Oh, yeah. I said welcome.
Yeah.
I'm your host, Chris. As always, joined by my co-host, Shaun.
That's right. Rock solid Haywood over here.
Yeah, unlike some other people we'll just call Shushman Shushmarin, who apparently just show up 2 times in a month now.
Yeah, he's phoning it in.
He really is like...
He's doing that breakup where it's like, we're going to break up. I'm not going to tell you we're breaking up. I'm just going to not come around anymore. I don't really want to see you anymore.
Look, it's not that it's over, but I got another place.
I just came to get my stuff. Like, what do you mean?
What are you talking about, John?
No, we're good. It's just...
I got things I got to go do that don't involve you.
I found the greatest thing ever, by the way. If you've listened to this podcast, you've heard me, I think at the beginning of this year, go through some sinusy crap.
I could tell you got some sinusy crap going on right now.
Yeah, and then the last couple of weeks, I've been battling something.
Yeah.
It started with my ear. I noticed one of my ears kind of got clogged up, and I went, well.
That's bad.
Yeah, and I had recognized that, but I didn't have I've never had sinus pressure or pain. This is so weird. So for the first few weeks, that's right, I tried to go with like an allergy pill plus maybe some Tylenol if I felt like I needed it. It did not work. But I don't know what I had. I'm the kind of guy who doesn't go to the doctor for stuff like this, thinking, I'm just going to battle it out. Anyway, I finally, after a few weeks of this, yesterday, I go, I'm tired of this. And I go,
fair.
I go to my friend at work. I say, hey, do you still have that Tylenol Sinus Severe Daytime Formula Medicine? I shoot him a little instant message. He goes, yes. Now, keep in mind, this friend at work wanted to give me this 2 weeks ago. And anyway,
is it Shushmarin?
It is Shushmarin.
Okay.
And what I didn't want to take it for initially because it had what's it called, guafenesin in it.
Okay.
That's the stuff that breaks up the mucus in your chest and does the thing. I think at one point I was sick many years ago, and I think I took NyQuil, and I think I related that word to what's in NyQuil, and I remember. I'm not a guy who likes to have substance control my thoughts. Yeah. It's kind of why I can't do drugs. Don't do drugs, kids.
Drugs are bad.
That's a whole nother story. But I remember I felt terrible that night. And I remember laying down on my living room floor and my breathing was like this. It was like, and I remember, and I think that's what NyQuil is supposed to do. It's supposed to calm you down so you can sleep. Yeah. I was fighting it.
It's got that, it's not that. There's another drug in there that you use for,
right.
That makes you sleepy, which is why they don't put it in daytime.
Well, my dumb self, I've always thought that the G word, guafenesin, was what did that. I want to say that I also got some mucus pill one time that was pure guafenesin. And I ended up, do you remember in Harry Potter when Ron got backwards slug spelled?
Oh, yeah, God.
It was like that.
Yeah.
So I've been wanting to avoid that word, but finally I broke down to my friend at work. I go, let me try it.
Well, I think that's like what it's designed to do, right? It's like, it's basically made to, as you say, it loosens up all your nasal cavities. But the side effect of it, of course, is like you go through about 2-hour progression of just like crap running out of you.
Yeah, everywhere.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. So I've been sitting at work before yesterday, and a random cough would. If I was in the corner, I'd just go, and I try to hold that cough in.
How'd you do it?
And as soon as I started taking this stuff yesterday, so I've had probably about 5 or 6 doses at this point.
Woo.
Everything's getting great. So I'm battling. I've got some residuals left in the tank.
You should get those for your bank account.
Yeah, I need to get some residuals for the bank account. But shout out to Tylenol Sinus Severe.
You could send that check, Tylenol.
Look, I don't know if it is allergy related. Apparently, where we live, when you reach a certain age, allergies can come out of nowhere.
True. I mean, that's anyone.
Well, and I remember last week I saw the Benadryl on your counter. I was like, "You got allergies, buddy?" And you're like, "Well, when I kind of feel that way, I take it and it works, and then I'm good."
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's not uncommon down here. I don't know about other places how bad they get it. I'm sure they get it to some extent, but like the South is notorious for like about mid-March through the end of April. It's just pollination to a level of extreme.
It's ridiculous.
I don't remember, like when I used to live in Maryland, I don't recall there ever being those instances how we get down here where you just walk outside and if it hasn't rained for 5 days, cars and everything is just like caked in yellow.
Yeah.
You know, and you just see it around here. So
that's why Coldplay wrote that song Yellow, because it was about here.
They took a trip to here.
But then when it rains, it's crazy because it's so thick. That's what she said. You'll see like the street drains just yellow goo.
It was all yellow. It was what you'll say.
It was all yellow. But yeah, so hopefully I'm on the rebound.
I hope so, buddy.
I think I probably will start putting in a regiment of a daily, maybe a Claritin or Allegra or Zyrtex, just something.
Some people do that.
Just because I don't. It's out of the. I'm getting older and stuff like this is happening, and it never did. And I'm like, But yeah, enough about health talk
now
with Chris and Sean.
Yeah, let's talk about your prostate next.
Oh yeah, next up, 40-year-old prostate exam. But Doc, did we watch anything this week?
Oh, I watched something. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Did you go watch it?
Yeah.
Man, did you cry?
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you not cry?
And it's not what you think, but so I left the theater and I'm walking down the hallway of the theater and I go, I am sick and tired of coming to these last few movies I've come to and I'm crying in them.
Yeah.
Avengers, Infinity War, Endgame.
What else made you cry?
Toy Story. There was something else in there that made me cry.
Did Aladdin make you cry?
Mm-mm.
Did John Wick make you cry?
I haven't seen that yet.
Oh.
But yeah, I'm just crying at movies.
Did Men in Black make you cry because it was so bad?
I didn't see that movie. But it's like,
Booksmart?
I don't remember what it was, but something made me cry. And I'm sitting there, I'm going,
the trailer for Hobbs and Shaw.
That dude, what's funny about that is that we're walking out of Toy Story 4 and there's a family with a she's kind of a good looking chick. She goes, "That looks good, don't it, hun?" And he's just like, "Yeah." So there's two people that are going to see Hobbs and Shaw.
Every time I see it, I'm like, this started with them trying to win a race wars in the California desert. Yeah. And prevent Dom from making bad mistakes of robbing truckers.
And now it's this.
Now it's apparently as old Idris Elba calls himself in the trailer. He's like, "Yeah, I'm Black Superman."
It's absolutely it's mind boggling. I remember there was such a divide. Like the first people that watched like the first Fast and the Furious, were those people. All right, so if you're my age, let's call it mid to late 30s,
sure,
or even early 40s.
Yeah,
you knew the kids that were in high school with the cars that sounded like bees and bubbles.
Everyone had that,
those were the kids that went to the movies.
Yeah,
and then they made a second one.
And plus, you had Gone in 60 Seconds during that period too.
You had that kind of stuff, and then all of a sudden, Ludacris was in a movie
because Ja Rule was an idiot,
and then Tyrese. So like music people are coming into these movies. And then all of a sudden, it's a worldwide phenomenon.
Boy from Sling Blades.
It's like, okay. And then now we're sitting here and it's going to be what, 2020 this year, 2020 is when Hobbs and Shaw comes out.
I think so.
I don't think it's 2020. So yeah.
It's this year. It's like in August.
2019, they're still going strong. And The Rock is in it now. Like the superstar that he is.
He preferred you call him Dwayne Johnson. Yeah.
I'll call him.
You can call him Black Adam since he's going to do that too.
I'll call him whatever he wants.
But we haven't actually said Toy Story 4.
Yes.
I said this afterwards. I really do mean it. Like, I got out of that theater and I was just thinking, I don't think I've ever seen a series like, there have been great trilogies, right? Of course, Lord of the Rings is freaking brilliant.
Yeah.
But I was like, I cannot think of a series of 4 movies that is so well produced and so tight. And like the shocking thing is, this is the second longest one, and it's like an hour and 40 maybe.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's not like these things are, like they're doing like how Avengers is, like where the last movie was 3.5 hours or whatever it was.
Right.
Those guys really do a good job of stuff that I think a lot of stuff in Hollywood today, when it comes to big picture movies, they tend to screw up, which is that they don't focus on characters. They don't think about how to progress their stories. They're just thinking about sight gags and action and how to get to A to B.
Right.
Like movies today move at a much faster rate than they did back before, kind of like the Titanic and therefore on. Like,
okay, I'm glad you didn't say like Gone with the Wind.
No.
We're not that old.
Like, I think about like back to something like the original Jurassic Park, where, you don't see the T-Rex till about 40 minutes into that film. And it's a build up to that point.
Yeah.
It is a slow build of like, look, we're not going to just come out and say something. We're just going to show you this goat. And then we're going to go off and Jeff Goldblum's going to lay down these theories. And we're going to go off and, slowly build this up so that when everything finally comes to a head, it's just such an epic scene. Yeah. Like, I don't know if there's a better action scene actually in a blockbuster film. To me, that's like as high as it gets is the T-Rex scene in that movie. But a lot of movies,
that's your pinnacle.
Yeah, that's about like, cause it feels like that's the last one I can recall that was on that level. Like now it's more of like everything is jokes. And like I said, they move very quickly. And a lot of times it's at the expense of characters. And to their credit, like here, this movie could have easily been bad. I think a lot of people were worried, and that's why it kind of underperformed a little bit from its expectations this weekend. That it was going to be bad.
It still won, but it underperformed.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it's still like their third or fourth like largest opening ever for Pixar. So it's not like they're
What's
crying.
crazy is you say that. I wanted to see it. I did not plan to go on opening weekend. It worked out that I did, which was, I think the first, I don't think I went to go see, I think Toy Story 3.
Yeah.
I was hype on, and I know 2 and 1 I was hype on, but this one, for whatever reason, I was just like, I guess I'll see it when I see it. Mm-hmm. It turns out I'll go see it on opening weekend, opening crowd. Like we go Friday.
Yeah.
And
I went Thursday.
Yeah, you went Thursday, the first showing, right?
Yes, the very first one.
Theater's packed.
Really?
Yeah, Friday.
See, mine wasn't that packed, which it didn't shock me because I was like, this is a kid's movie at its core. And I was like, what parent is taking their kid to a 6 p.m. show at IMAX on Thursday?
Now you can tell the truth right now, Chris, and I'll believe you.
Sure.
The ending I started to see coming. It took me a minute to realize what was going to happen. I'll say it like that. How did you catch on to it early?
I kind of, before going into it, I had made a prediction, and that was the prediction. I didn't know, and I wasn't sure about it until it got to kind of like we started getting into that third act of back like when they're back in the store and that kind of part without going into specifics here.
Yeah.
In that one scene, I was like, okay, yes, they're definitely going this way because of everything they had set up in the other 3 movies, especially. I was like, there's no way, that it goes any other way. But what I liked was just, again, like to their credit, the whole entire 4 movies are really the story of Woody and that growth in it. And I think people like it so much because it really ties to, us as human beings, actual people. Like you can see things within it, which is that the changes of time in someone's life.
Yeah.
And especially how it relates, obviously in a way, like the toys and that they're supposed to be a placement really for parents.
Yeah.
Like that's what you get. Like, the unconditional love a parent has for his own child.
Yeah. The correlation and the way they tell that story is brilliant. Mm-hmm. I was thinking about watching the first one. I'm in my teenage years watching Toy Story 1. And the nostalgia was still there because you remembered having toys.
Exactly.
So you felt it. So for me, I don't know how it felt if you were already an adult watching Toy Story 1, but I kind of grew up with the movies to the point where it did feel, like you say, like I am a parent watching this last one. There was some weird thing that was going on all up in my feelings box. And it was fantastic. The movie was fantastic.
Funny. One of the funniest movies of the year too.
Super.
See, that's what's like really cool about it is that, as I said, a lot of movies are going for jokes, and it's not like there aren't jokes in here, but everything feels like it just plays in naturally. Just from I think my favorite part of this movie is the two things that were my favorite were all the Ducky and Bunny stuff, which I was really worried about when I saw.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be, and that's Key and Peele, right?
Yeah. I was really worried that was going to go down a rabbit hole. I've seen a lot of people. That was the star of the movie for a lot of people. Yeah, and then actually the other thing, I like Duke Kaboom too. I think everyone likes Duke Kaboom, but
Kaboom is the best.
But actually, my favorite thing was the little gag with Combat Carl, the three little Combat Carls.
Yeah.
That to me is priceless. Just that one.
Yeah, the way they showed them as like animated figures. Yeah. It felt so real. It was awesome. It was great. The movie was fantastic.
Yeah.
If John watches this movie, I forgot what he said about it.
You won't even watch it.
No, but I'm saying what did he say? The other ones didn't resonate with him.
Yeah.
If he doesn't watch this movie and have some resonation happen,
John doesn't have a heart.
This is true.
Unions. Anything that's a union.
Oh my God. John, but yeah, John's having vacation right now. Apparently.
Yeah.
What's vacation?
Pigeon Forge, I think.
No. Like, what is vacation?
Oh, I don't know.
I'd like a vacation.
Me too. I need one today.
Where do we vacate to?
Somewhere.
You kind of had a mini vacay.
I did. I'm taking off next Friday, and of course we're off for the 4th, so I'll have that little.
Yeah, apparently in my area, that's the thing to do because the 4th is a Thursday. So who wants to come back on the Friday? Guess who drug his feet to put his request to be off in?
You.
Yeah, guess who's going to be the guy at the office?
You.
That's right.
Have fun with that.
Guess who's going to have his Nintendo Switch or something all day?
You.
That's right.
Dear Sean's management.
To pivot a little bit, we always talk about sports. So the World Cup's going on now with the women.
Yeah. I actually watched the France and Brazil the other day.
France. Yeah. Well, speaking of France, that's who the United States women's national team plays next. This is crazy. People, apparently when we make a World Cup, and I know that the women are better than the men in the United States.
Yeah.
But
we're Brazil.
Yeah. Right. The fans of the United States travel. Mm-hmm. And I think that's pretty cool. And it kind of frustrates me because of how not good the United States men's team has been.
Though, don't they have a savior now? Because they have that other thing that's going on right now. And I thought
it's the Gold Cup.
Yeah. I'm we look great or whatever.
Yeah.
Right?
We beat a team. So the funny story to that is, the big, in 2017, the United States did not qualify for the World Cup. It sent ripples through the soccer world of the United States, right?
We were terrible.
If you know the name Trevor Twillman, he's a soccer analyst on ESPN, and if you YouTube his breakdown of what happened, he kind of encapsulated everything everybody felt that follows soccer for the United States, right? Mm-hmm. So fast forward to this year, it's 20-something months later. They're playing the team that theoretically beat them to put them out of the tournament.
And they were,
like Chris said, they won 6-0 or something.
Which does not happen that often.
I mean, never.
The women are over there really? We want to match 13-0.
Yeah, the women are yeah, really? But yeah, it's
one girl had 6 goals on our team.
it's just fun to see the United States on stages like this and do good.
Yeah.
What other sports do you think the nation would get hype about? Hockey? No, because it's all amateurs now.
Are you talking about there are more world sports than? Yeah. I mean, obviously our biggest one is basketball, where that's become a world sport. But we are, of course, always the gold standard.
Has it been as good as the original '92 Dream Team ever?
Well, I don't mean in that sense. I just mean people will tune into that
when that happens,
regardless. If there's anything at the Olympics, people are going to watch Summer Olympics.
Michael Phelps. I get
besides the individual competitors, it's going to be that. I mean, the rest of it. I mean,
are there any other world sports like that?
I mean, there's tennis and golf, of course, but
even so, I remember Tiger. Yeah. I remember watching tennis and Andy. What's his name?
Roderick.
No, the redhead from England. He was going to win Wimbledon. He's still really good. I think his name's Andy something.
There was the dude who did win it.
Well, he won it. He won Wimbledon.
Yeah.
And I remember
a couple of years ago.
Yeah, they were all excited because
I can't remember
the British guy won Wimbledon, and that's a British event.
Yeah, it'd been like 60 years or whatever.
But like tennis, Serena won the U.S. Open all the time.
Sure.
So I was thinking about what other national sport that's a world sport will people get as excited about as like the women's national team or the men's soccer team. I don't know.
Cricket.
Dude, have you ever tried to? Do you understand cricket?
A little bit.
Do you really?
I've watched cricket games.
It's crazy. I'll try to watch it.
It's been forever, but
and you'll see these guys just yoke whatever that is that they're hitting and swinging and throwing, and then you'll see a guy in the outfield like make an amazing catch, and he'll do some crazy throw. I don't know what's going on, but I enjoy every second of it.
There was like a weird part where there's some part of it like they can decide to be like, yeah, I'm cool with that, or not being cool, and I'm like, what is this?
Yeah,
like compared to baseball, like, nah, man. You are swing or you hold that bat, and the umpire will tell you what the result is.
That's what really confuses me about it, I guess, because growing up, you playing baseball and you watch this other sport that looks like baseball, kind of plays like baseball, but is not baseball.
We're just weird. Like, our country's weird because I really do think because of our history, the way we've been, like, we felt so ostracized for so long that we are very much into things that we make and we control.
Cheeseburgers.
We control the narrative, and that's not like how a lot of the rest of the world is, and a lot of things, because they have like their one thing they like England's like, look, man, we got tea down and biscuits. These things are.
You want some fish and chips? We got
you, bro. But when it comes to all this other stuff, do we play basketball? No, we're all European short men. So,
meet us on a soccer pitch.
Yeah.
We invented
it.
That's awesome. But,
did they invent it?
I think they did invent soccer.
I thought like the Aztecs invented it.
They were English. Right?
No.
English Aztecs?
The old English Aztecs.
Yeah.
I thought like you could trace it all the way back to those civilizations. I could be wrong.
I mean, in theory, you kick something around. They're calling that soccer? Really?
Maybe.
I don't know.
They're really good at lawn bowling.
I don't know, dude.
But,
Nat, write in and tell us who invented soccer.
But, like, you look at, like, baseball isn't that popular now, really, anywhere. Outside of, like, the Dominican Republic and Japan, which we have huge reach.
Japan!
But, on the other hand, here, even still, it does well. It doesn't do as well as it used to, I would think. But, what's it been replaced by? Not by soccer, but by basketball and
football,
which are American things too.
Yeah. Update on my viewing.
Ooh.
You told me to watch out for episode 8 on Band of Brothers or somewhere around there. I'm on episode 8 right now and I'm scared to death. It did not happen in episode 7, whatever it is.
You'll figure it out real quick.
I know. The show is amazing. I just want to say. The show is amazing.
Yeah. Get ready for oof.
Am I going to cry watching that too?
It's going to be more so just really hard to watch.
Chris,
you could probably figure it out if you think of history in World War II and really tragic things. You could figure it out. I won't say it here because it's a family-friendly show, though we should not now. It's not because of that.
Right.
But,
I was like, what?
I don't want to make people cry. But no, it's a very vital, important episode, and I'm glad they put it in there. But again, it's really hard to watch. So, it's one of those kinds of things.
Okay.
So just go watch it. Come back.
All right. And report back. I'm a changed man.
But you're almost at the end, though.
I know. So. I hate it.
Well, you can watch the Pacific afterwards.
What is that?
It's the same thing, but with the Pacific Theater. It's a little bit different, but, it's still...
What's the Pacific Theater, Chris?
That's where my grandfather went.
Yeah? Is that in the water?
Part of it. It's mainly going to island and being like, it's humid as F out here. And trying not to die.
What was that movie you got hype about that Nolan made?
Dunkirk.
Good movie.
Very good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tied in too. To what I'm it's
that
crazy.
was before we got there.
Yeah, but what's crazy is how many amazing stories, movies, and shows have come out from that era.
For sure.
And that war, man.
I mean, it's something you hope people don't forget.
I don't think I will.
Yeah. Never forget. Wait, that's a different.
What? What?
Jon Stewart's going to pop in here.
He's like, Jon Stewart.
But, hey, 25 minutes of this.
Yeah, we played video games, we swear.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it.
Before I do that.
Yeah.
This weekend, I'm taking a trip to Atlanta.
To do what?
I'm going to have some good jams and relax and watch some live music.
What are you watching?
Den Companies this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to watch them play.
I'm not going to watch them play.
You should come watch them play.
I'm going to go see the Dave Matthews Band soon. And that's enough of jam bandage for me.
It's light jam bandage, though.
What is Dave or
the
Den Company?
Dave, because like Dave doesn't switch out his sets as much as like a lot of the art jam bands do, right? You know, and then like how often does Dave like go 18 minutes on a song? Not maybe once a night.
No, I can. If you're lucky, yeah, just once a night. Because if they go more than that, you're like, oh my god, the show was 2 hours and an hour of it was these two songs.
Yeah.
But yeah, so be careful, man.
Oh,
we got a podcast to do next week.
Well, the good thing for something like that is that I go with my sister, so I don't even have to drive or do anything.
You have a sister?
No, she's a huge deadhead.
I know she is.
That's how I got introduced to it. My uncle introduced her to it, and then she introduced me to it.
This is the sister that after Six Flags one time you went over
yes,
to. Yeah.
Yes. She lives in Atlanta. Yep. Yeah.
That's how that works, huh? Memory.
Yeah, right? But that said, let's topic it.
I like that you ended it with music, considering this next game is so heavy on it.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what we call lead-in.
Yes.
Boom.
Topic time.
The topic is Cadence of Hyrule. That was me doing the topic thing.
Technically, the title's a little longer than that.
Yeah, well, it's based off that Crypt of the Necro Dancer series.
Dancer?
It's Dancer because, like music, dancing, right?
Tiny Dancer.
Yeah. Actually, which, by the way, I was looking earlier. Steam started their summer sale today. If you're interested in that, it's not a very intense game on your PC. You can get it right now on Steam if you want to check out. If you liked this game, if you tried this and like, man, I wish I had a longer version of this game, you can get it for like $3 right now.
$3?
Yeah.
That's less than a value meal.
Yeah.
That's how that works, people.
Boom.
Yeah. I'm one of those people who thought, hey.
Yeah.
Dude, in theory, we'll get into it more, but this is my first roguelike game I think I've ever played.
Yeah. It's definitely not a hard rogue game. It's just kind of like, basically the only things you lose are the little things you pick up as you go, which are pretty easy to find, in your rupees. That's about it.
Yeah.
Compared to like something like some of these other ones where it's like, oh, no. Everything. And by the way, we're going to now randomly spawn a whole new map for you. Go.
That's crazy.
Yeah, But yeah, Cadence of Hyrule came out right after E3.
We're excited about it. Yeah, for sure.
$24.99 on the old Switch store right now.
Yeah.
Shaun.
Yeah.
Gotta say, was not expecting this to be as good as it was. Like when I heard of it back when, I remember John reading about it in the news and everything back in, what was it, like April or something like that when this first got announced. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm sure Zelda fans will like that.
Yeah, I thought the same too. And I remember seeing I think we saw the artwork then. And I remember going, it looks kind of,
Plus, like when you have these other studios who come in to do their take on it, you get like a mixed reaction, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's solid. Sometimes you're like, okay.
Is this a Richard choke time?
I don't know.
I mean, you said sometimes it's solid, and sometimes it's
Apparently, it's time for some buddy's medicine.
I feel. I was gonna try not to take. I think I had to take it about an hour ago. Mm-hmm. But you ever get where you feel medicined out? And I was like, I don't want to feel like that. But
ouch!
I'm gonna go ahead and do it.
Do it.
We're gonna make it happen. We're gonna pop this in. But yeah, man. Look as we sit here today, I want to. I really want to finish this game. It is very addictive and very fun.
It's hard starting out,
dude.
You're going to die.
Yeah, well, I didn't know that, Chris. Fun fact. So if you've watched any trailers on the game, you notice one of the big things, like Chris said, is the music. And on the screen when you start playing, you get to a point where enemies show up. And when they show up, a music meter, if you will, it lights up the bottom of the screen. And it's going on a musical count, like a 1, 2, 3, 4 kind of thing, right?
And the good thing about that is that, like, I think, especially with headphones on, it's very easy. Like, none of the beats are so extreme that you're going to ever be too thrown off. Like, if you can hear the downbeat on the drums, you'll get the beat.
Yeah, you're fine. Yeah. And what you said was a great point. If you listen to music, which I'm sure everybody that we know,
John,
except for John, right? John's the exception, the anomaly. And you find yourself kind of nodding your head to the music or tapping your hand on the steering wheel or tapping your foot somewhere. That's exactly all you have to do when the music of the scene kind of starts. But yeah,
the one good thing though, if you're not very musically inclined in terms of keeping tempo, there is an option that you can turn that off and kind of instead turn it into more of like an RTS, where it's like whenever you move a square, the enemies move a square too. So, it's a little bit more strategy.
Did you get to play both ways?
I did not. After I died a couple of times, I tried to say like, hey, this is an option. I'm like, no.
What's really funny is I'm going through, I don't know, my dumb head, I'm thinking, hey, this is a classic Zelda game. I'll be okay with him bouncing around a little bit, or Zelda bouncing, because I'll get to that in a minute. But I'm bouncing around and I get to the enemy screen, and all of a sudden your boy can't keep rhythm because he's trying to play it like a classic Zelda game.
Exactly. You're like, there's a thing. Let me go to this.
Yeah. And you quickly learn that it does matter. And if as you hear our voices and you think that's a bad thing, let me reassure you that once what this game is trying to do to you and trying to let you experience, once that clicks,
yes,
this game becomes so much fun.
Yeah, just like the strategy involved. Like, of course, the most obvious thing you want to do is, even if you're tapping to the beat, is to go just straight for the enemy that's in front of you.
Yeah.
But over time, you start to learn the tendencies of all these little villains. And like, there are certain ones that simply going into their lane, they'll start charging across the screen. So you're like, instead of facing them head on, you kind of circle back and let them get to you, and then you stab them from the side.
Yeah.
And you can kill them very quickly without taking hits that way. There are certain power-ups where just being in a diagonal space where they can't hit you, but you're diagonal to them, you're able to reach with your sword to do a massive damage attack. Like things like that. You start to get what it is, and when you go in, the cool thing about it is when you go into a section of the map, everything is kind of just pulsing there. It's not moving yet, and you're not taking any penalty for missing the beat at this point. You can kind of step back for a second and look at the map and say, okay, what are the threats? What order do I need to approach this in before I go forward?
Right.
Where are the traps and the pitfalls?
It's a trap.
It's a trap.
So yeah, if you're going, what happened? Am I low?
It's a trap.
It's just if you've seen any gameplay, right? If you see what we're talking about, maybe you went to a YouTube or a Twitch, a Mixer, and you've seen somebody playing it, and maybe you didn't you didn't watch it for the throw a shout out to Mixer, and you go, this isn't Zelda. I'm telling you now, the game is chock. It's literally chock full of everything you love about Zelda.
It's kind of what I think the best comparison would be like something like Hyrule Warriors, where Hyrule Warriors is very much at its core Dynasty Warriors still.
Yes.
And this is, just looking online today at the videos of the actual Crypt of the Necro, this is still that game.
It's that game.
It's just that the people have taken everything from the Zelda universe and applied it to it.
Yeah.
So if you're a Zelda fan, it's like, there's not much you're going to find hate here because you're just going to be very impressed at style. And to me, I loved it because it felt like I was playing almost like original OG Zelda in a way.
Like you said. And now, as you think about this, Nintendo's not going to lend their properties to a company or a game where it's going to do an injustice to that game. In recent memory, you got this game, you've had Mario Rabbids, and you had, like you said, the Dynasty Warriors, the Zelda thing, Hyrule Warriors.
You have to give credit to Nintendo for recently really being willing to reach out to other people to say, like, what's your take on our property? And to think that, like, you would only limit that to Ubisoft and then now see a team this small get their shot, that's so awesome.
It really is. To kind of reset, gotta go back a little bit, the story starts out, and it set it up for him, Chris. There's just one character.
Yeah, the main character, I believe that's from the actual Crypt of the Necro Dancer. Yeah. Like, basically somehow falls through a portal and ends up in Hyrule.
Yeah.
And basically there are two portals you could fall through. One of them goes to Link, the other goes to Zelda. That's basically your character's selection point. And as soon as you get there, that character wakes up, Link or Zelda. I think both of us went with Link, right?
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
It had nothing to do with, I just like Link. I've never played really with Zelda in any game.
I wasn't sure how it was going to go, so I was like, well, let's just start with Zelda or Link and then see if at some point there's a Zelda part of this or not. Doesn't sound like there is.
There is.
Well, I think like you can go back and you can switch. Like there's a tower you can find to switch. But
the save points are called Sheikah stones.
Yeah.
And at each one of those, you can toggle if you want to continue with Zelda, Link, or if you want to start with the character that...
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, you can.
I thought, like, I know you could save and quit. I didn't realize you could toggle.
Yeah, you can toggle.
Okay, my bad.
Pretty nice, right?
Right? Pretty nice.
Have you awoken Zelda yet?
I have not.
No spoilers here, but so
spoilers!
That's like Chris said, the story starts and then you pick either Link or Zelda and you go on your way.
Yeah.
The map is set up to where when you push, your button for the map to pull up, it's a big square. And apparently, I noticed, Chris, if you watched the stream last night on Twitch, Chris was streaming this game. His map is set up slightly different than mine. I don't know if that's a thing or if it was just the way that Twitch looked last night. I haven't figured that out.
I've been trying to figure that out too, because I was actually looking at a map online and mine looked different. I was like, I don't know if this just changes for everyone or what.
It is, yeah.
Maybe I did something. I have no idea.
But think about this. All the things that are synonymous with the Zelda game, the Lost Woods, what's the Goron Mountain, Death Mountain.
Yeah, like pretty much all your major regions.
I say this wrong. Is it Kakariko Village? Kariko Village?
Something like that.
I think about all of that is in this game, right? Mm-hmm. The music is in the game. The dungeons, to a degree, are in this game.
Yeah, like it's OG, like when I say this, like it at times really feels like the actual original adventure.
Yeah, you forget that you're playing a game that is
brand new.
Yeah.
Like, it's got the classic go through two doors and then, or go through an opening where you can see a little emblem through the walkway. And as soon as you go through, those doors shut and a bunch of enemies pop up and it's like, all right, here we go.
Here we go, yeah.
Defeat everything or die.
Now, the thing that snapped me back to reality once I got into my first dungeon was now keep in mind, I had died many times up until this point. But I don't think I had accumulated a bunch of things. I had maybe a torch. Maybe, I think I just had my sword.
I was making a mistake early on of, I just wasn't thinking about it. So as we said, like before, when you die, you lose all your diamonds, and then there are like certain things.
No, you don't use your diamonds.
Or not your diamonds. Yeah.
Your rupees.
Your rupees. If you picked up certain things that aren't like scrolls that are one-time uses, if they're like, just like a shovel or, a torch, maybe certain benefits to your weapon, whatever, you'll lose those.
Yeah, for sure.
You won't lose things like your bombs, or, you know, if you get a boomerang, or if you get
your bow and arrow
or anything like that. You don't lose any of that. You don't lose any power-ups. And the main thing you don't lose that's very important is you don't lose diamonds. The way you get diamonds in this game, you can randomly find them at times, but primarily you get them for every section of the map that you clear all the enemies from. And you can repeat this. So if you want to go grind diamonds, you could do that.
Yeah, diamonds are the currency to buy these cool things you need.
Yeah.
And every time you die.
Whenever you die, you get to this, was it like fate of something? I can't remember like where you'll spawn. And in front of you, there'll be like 4 items that you can buy with the diamonds. Those are randomly picked every time, so you don't know what you're going to get.
So you're thinking, why is this important? It was because when you die, you lose all your things.
Yes.
You get to this screen where there's like a fairy lady saying, here, you can, if you have enough diamonds, you can start back with one of these things right now.
Multiple things.
You could buy all the things if you had enough diamonds, and that's crucial because you're going to, there's a tunnel, like not a tunnel, but like a warp little thing that you fall back into to get back to where you died from. So yeah, when I died in my dungeon the first time, I had accumulated a lot of things, the most I had up until that point. And that's when I snapped back into reality of this is a roguelike dungeon crawler type experience.
Yes.
And oh my God, I just lost, 300 rupees and the best sword and the.
Yeah, it's definitely a game that encourages you that if there's something you want, and you have the resource, don't even hesitate. Buy it, especially if it's something that's going to be permanent, like, heart piece or whatever. If you see one there and you've got the money, buy it.
Yeah. Go ahead.
But what I like when I started out, I felt with my diamonds, I was overspending just to get basic stuff.
Yeah.
And it took me a little while to start going like, okay, I don't really need to buy these things here for cheap because honestly, like, unless I'm immediately in an area that's going to use them. Like, for instance, if I'm in a dungeon, obviously I need a torch.
Yeah.
Or if I'm in the desert where there's tons of walls I have to dig through, I need a shovel.
Yeah.
But like, besides that, it's like, okay, if I just wait, don't spend this and bank these things and instead just go fight the enemies, they'll all drop. These truly basic things will drop probably within 2 sections of the map. I'll have what I need.
I'll say this, if you're just starting out playing this game, don't ever waste your money on a shovel or a flame.
Yes.
Spawn to Link's house or Zelda's house, and in the cave right next to it, the same beginning level guy, was it a girl or a guy from the original game?
Sure. I haven't played it.
They will give you the shovel and you can get the flame every time for free. So don't waste your money on that.
Pronouns.
Yeah. Cause I think it's a boy. I don't know why.
I think you're right.
I think it is a boy. But yeah, so the dungeons they're so Zelda, like Chris said, because you got to find your compass. You got to find your map. You got to find your keys. You got to eventually find your boss key. And as you die and respawn, it's going to drop you into a point that's not necessarily where you just were.
Yeah.
And clearing that first dungeon, if I was not all the way cooked, like if I was a fish where I was about to take that bait, I'm all in. Once the aesthetic of that dungeon really hit home with me. And it opened up the rest of the game. It's just so fun. It's so challenging.
Boss fights too are really good.
Yeah.
They each it doesn't feel like you're just fighting the same thing. It doesn't do that Mario thing sometimes where you're just like,
3 hits.
I go. Yeah, 3 hits. Here we go. They're like, no. This enemy, like there was one, I think you fought him too after I did it last night, like where, it was spawning ads. And like, it's this consistent bout of understanding, okay, there's tons of ads that if I just completely ignore and I don't do enough damage,
they're coming for me.
They're coming for me.
Yes.
There's also the fact that I can only get maybe 1 hit in before I have to get out of the way from the main boss doing an attack that's going to take a full heart from me.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, there's a second level of this where everything completely speeds up even more.
You weren't ready. It was funny because on stream you beat the boss, you thought you were done with it, and then the speed run comes in. You weren't ready for it. When I got to it, I knew it was coming, and it still beat me because it's one of those things where you're not really up to that speed yet.
You're like, 4 ads, not a big deal. And all of a sudden, like 20 ads.
Yeah.
And he's moving. Insane. It's like double time speed.
Double it. Do you remember the spread gun in Contra? How when you shot it? So he's shooting the ads out kind of like that. So you got to avoid them the first time being spreaded at you.
Yeah.
Then they land, they grow and come at you.
And he's like shooting just complete chains of spider webs at you. It's crazy.
They also do a play on I think this is accurate. The bosses have a play on original boss names.
Yeah.
Based on, so the game is centered, can we say what it's?
It's centered around music, which isn't too surprising.
Right, yeah.
Like the idea here is that, I can't remember the name of the main villain at this point. He's shown up twice now.
Yeah.
But basically he's, taken all these instruments of Hyrule and used them to create these bosses. And basically he's keeping, Hyrule Castle under lock. So you have to get all 4 instruments back to basically make this harp to open up the walkway. So like everything as far as who you're fighting is kind of based on a musical instrument.
Yeah.
I think we had the maracas and we had
adobo or oboe.
Yeah, oboe. Yeah.
Yeah, because it was Robo.
Yeah.
Right.
Was Robo. Yeah, that was his name.
You Zelda fans will recognize that name, hopefully.
What was it? What was the maracas one?
I can't remember.
It started with a G. Normacus? I can't remember.
I don't know, but it was a spidery looking thing.
Yes, it was awesome.
You can look it up if you want to.
I could.
But replayability on this game is obviously one of those things. If you're looking at it from a replayability standpoint, it's going to be massive. Like it's going to be at a very high level because
for sure,
because it's a roguelike game, you're going to want to continue to go.
All right. Those are mini bosses. Here we go.
Oh yeah, you're right. Gamarakis.
Yeah. Just seeing something. Octovo is the main villain here.
Spoiler.
Spoiler. Yeah. Classic version too, right?
Yeah.
Apparently one of them is the bass guitar most nights. And there's, what is that?
The Glockenspiel?
Yeah, Glockenspiel? Oh, like a glee club?
That's really funny.
That's funny. That's very funny.
All the classic mobs are there. You've got Lionel. See, I think they combine a lot of the new stuff too, though. But you got Lionel's.
I've only seen 1 or 2 Lionels in the game.
Yeah, and that was the one I had to get to.
I have seen that. Yeah. I won't say what it is, but I've seen him.
Yeah,
that was not easy.
I have learned though that bombs are my friend.
Yeah, it takes time. Like the mistake you make sometimes is just not remembering you have all these different tools to use and that you should equip them. Like I have a ton of scrolls that
I haven't used one.
I used one against Lionel and I used one against Gramacus or whatever his name is.
Yeah. I wonder how the other bosses are going to play in because we know we got to get, like you said, you have to get 4 instruments.
Yes.
And looking at this website, there's more than 4 bosses.
Yeah, there are.
I figured the 4 plus the 1.
Well, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, plus the 1, but then there's another.
Ooh. But you knew.
I didn't. No, because Minish Cap.
Yeah, I guess, but
you know,
there's always
they're listening. They're going, "What does he mean by but Minish Cap? What does that mean?" Minish Cap, ladies and gentlemen, is one of the greatest Zelda games of all time.
It's pretty awesome.
I'm just saying.
But that said, I mean, I've been very surprised how well the depth is, and then that's before you even start thinking about the music. I think, to their credit here, they've taken pretty much all the classic themes that we know from Zelda and made them all distinct to the areas that they're in, while adding different musical variety flair. Like it's cool to go through the main area of the map and hear that classic Zelda theme, right? You know, the Venturers theme, but it kind of like have this cool rock edge to it. You know,
yes,
a little bit harder than what we're normally used to hearing. And the cool part that I noticed afterwards was, or a little bit when I started playing the game, was that if you pause the game, whatever music is playing will switch from this high quality, high fidelity sound to instead like classic 16-bit era sounding pixel music.
Yes,
you know,
super cool.
And it's just that kind of stuff. I guarantee you now, folks, you should be ready because this is going to be in the music episode this year.
No doubt, as it should be.
Yeah.
I mean, I always bring up how much, and you do too, Chris, to a point. I mean, obviously we said John doesn't like music, but music's always very important to me when I'm playing a game because it gives you that extra thing you need to kind of immerse yourself into the world. Yeah. And you already know the Zelda music. It's classic. So it's all around you. And then they add the classic Zelda puzzles. And one of the puzzles sometimes is, or that we've encountered is that, you have to, I think it's a button, like a play button you stand on.
Yeah.
And it activates a sequence of musical notes around you. Like they're these bright colors. So again, tying in the music. Then it challenges you to remember the sequence and run to each note, and then it's going to unlock something kind of important.
Or even match the beat of what they're doing.
Right.
Yeah.
And that was the one we had to wake up a good friend of ours that you'll recognize when you get there. Mm-hmm. It was important to do that. But yeah, so all the things you love about a Zelda game from, years past, this game delivers, and it's wrapped into this really unexpected, great little game. That is Cadence of Hyrule. It's amazing.
Off topic, the next time we do like a show live stream, I feel like John should dress up as Tingle.
I'm 100%. We need to make sure we buy the costume so he goes. I'm not dressing it. I'm not going to dress up as Tingle, but even if I did
for the show,
even if I would, you guys don't have a Tingle costume ready,
do we?
For the show. Right. Yeah. The only knock I think I have on the game thus far, I was very excited to, by the way, the game obviously, like all Nintendo games do, they play great in handheld mode or on your screen.
Correct. And there is, for those wondering, and I'm always glad to see this, especially in a musical based game like this, there are, options in there to basically set up your latency, whether it be audio or visual.
Yes.
So if you've got lag on your TV, in your sound system, it's just it's basically just like how you do with Guitar Hero. You're tapping a button.
Yeah, and it works perfectly. I've had no issues. And this is this a knock? Maybe. Probably.
I think it's a fair knock.
Yeah, but Chris and I were very excited for last night for us to do a co-op live stream for the the Twitch stream, and we found out that it's couch co-op.
Yeah,
it's not online co-op, and of course, we kind of gotta go wide and to know this is a great.
I mean, like I would be more understanding if this wasn't a Zelda game. Like if they just had Crypt the Necro Dancer, I can understand. It's a small studio, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like if you're Nintendo, this is where I feel like it's your job to carry the ball on that issue, right? Because it's like this is your property in the end. And if you have, if the guy is putting in co-op into his game,
in general,
there's just no excuse as far as I'm concerned that you cannot on your end work to make that possible.
Yeah.
So
I think it was a missed opportunity because it would have been really cool to see the way the game changed when there's two of us running around to see if the enemies changed what they do, their movements, the dungeon mechanic, boss mechanics. It would have been cool to see if any of that changed. Mm-hmm. But alas, we will never know. So
yeah.
What are we supposed to do, right?
And then tomorrow, by the way,
you gotta hit this button and do that thing, and then you can play online together. You're like,
is it like John Travolta playing online here with that voice?
Was that Travolta-ish?
I don't know, you guys. I don't know. I just want to play online.
Oh my God. Why do I want to watch?
I love you so much.
When you say Travolta, why do I want to watch Swordfish more than anything right now? You didn't like that movie?
I hate that movie because it's just I hate a lot of the 90s like hackers movies because it's so not real. Like when he's sitting there, he's got the the 6 screens tied together and he's looking at these cubes and you're like, that's not the way that's done.
That's not right.
That's not the way.
Something's not right here.
Old Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman.
Yeah. So Halle Berry in the movie.
Halle Berry. Hey.
Yeah.
Halle Berry's in a Hot Ones episode if you guys are in that.
I saw that.
Pretty awesome. $24.99, right? How can you go wrong if you own a Switch and you only have to drop 25 bones on this?
Maybe the only art criticism that I think some of Zelda fans may have is the story here. It's very light. Yeah. Like, it's kind of just, it sets this thing up like, look, this is going on. We're not going to, I mean, at least at this point, I haven't seen why.
I haven't seen anything.
I'm sure maybe that might get addressed, but none of this feels like what Zelda has become, say, going on Ocarina of Time or later where, or even, A Link to the Past or later, where you have this deep story that, slowly plays out over time.
Yeah, like Zelda's already, she's like with you.
Yeah.
Like you can already have her with you.
From what I've gathered, I mean, like, I haven't played that game that much this week, because I had other things going on. I still feel like I've made substantial amount of progress, and from what I've read, it's not a very long game. So
no, you've made, looking at your map, you've made excellent progress.
Yeah.
So part of it is doing the adventure of unlocking that map, and there's only, like we said, 4 dungeons. Sure. In theory, that you have to unlock before you get to Hyrule Castle.
Yeah, then Hyrule's got 2 things. It looks like
both of us, I would say, easily have 75 to 85% of the map unlocked for real.
I feel like, now that I have the certain things that I have, that like I could probably beat this in like 2-3 hours if I just really put my head down and don't die. Right. Like that's the key.
Yeah, but don't die. And that's the thing. That's the old caveat, Chris.
But yeah, like I think maybe that might be a knock. The hardcore Zelda that really they want that story and that cinematic feel.
I would say don't get this game. Yeah, if that's what you want.
No, if you just want classic OG Zelda, with a new cool combat twist to it, or you just really like roguelikes, this is definitely a game for it. And I would say if you're a fan of these people's original game, Crypt of the Necrodancer, like, then this is definitely worth checking out.
If you're
especially for $25.
If you're sitting there going, well, I like roguelikes and I like Zelda,
I have a Switch.
This is called a win-win, people. Pick that one up if that's you, for sure.
There's that one guy, all he does is win.
And another one.
And another one.
Yeah.
But Richard time?
I mean, it can be Richard time. What is that floating on me, Chris? What is that?
I have no idea.
Oh my God, I'm seeing things. I'm taking too much medicine.
Yeah.
Buddy?
I can just see a little pink spire right here. Hey, Shaun.
That's awesome. Oh my God.
That said,
it's Richard time.
This is where I tell you I spiked your drink.
I'm not feeling so good.
Fall backwards to the deep place.
You go first this time.
I think for me it is a solid 9.0.
I ain't gonna lie, you kind of threw me off with the point. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's not a game that is perfect. It's not a game that, really does anything that's, like, going to elevate the Zelda series or whatever, right? But in terms of, like, doing a spin-off of a series and saying, look, we're just going to make this 6-7 hour thing, it's exceptionally tight. And it works so well.
So tight.
And like you could tell, like I said, it feels like a perfect combination of a game that was a very big indie darling a couple of years ago and something that is a beloved franchise. And that's the best you could ask for these kinds of things. Because it doesn't always work out, Sometimes you do get bad, mashups and stuff like that. Yeah. Or just so. Like, I wasn't overly beloved by what I experienced when I played Hyrule Warriors. I know Mike D, Ryan Leaf loved it.
Yeah.
But,
he says that's the greatest Zelda mashup ever. I disagree.
Yeah, I disagree with him, too.
I played Hyrule Warriors.
He also,
I played Mario Rabbids.
He also says that Final Fantasy 13 is a good game, so.
What, is that the one with lightning in it?
Yeah.
It is good. Lightning rules, man.
Shut up.
Shut your face.
What about you?
I also, I have it pretty high. I'm going to say a 9 right now, as we said as well.
Ooh.
I was nervous because I didn't know if you'd go that high. Mm-hmm. And then you threw me off with the point, but I'm right here at a 9. 9! I think it's well deserved. Now look, you go, well, it's one of those things where, yeah, we can give this game a 9, and then we can also recognize that God of War is a 9 something, a Spider-Man's a 9 something.
9 to me just means that's amazing.
Yeah.
And I think like for what this is,
it's amazing.
I don't know what more do you want from it?
Right.
Is basically like, what is it? There's no part of what's actually in the game outside of, like we were saying, like online co-op. That's maybe the one thing I can really knock on this game.
Yeah. But if we really wanted to play co-op, in theory, the fanboys will say, well, the Switch is very mobile. You could easily bring it with you and play co-op wherever you go. Sure.
Very true.
But yeah, we're both sitting at 9s, and I think it's very fair. I am so glad I picked up this game. Chris technically picked it up, maybe a day before me?
Yeah, like we were talking about work, and I was like, oh, wow, okay, that's what this is? And as I was at work, I'm like, and downloading.
Yeah, you sent me the thing that had done, and I went, well, I guess I'm getting that later. I thought that game that we mentioned either last week or the week before, Rad, I thought that was going to be my first roguelike. I don't know how much different Rad is going to be than this game.
Get that.
But I'm glad that the old the roguelike experience for me started with this game, and I think I'm going to be more prone to want to play them in the future. So.
Get Dead Cells.
Is Dead Cells roguelike?
It is.
Is it?
But it's so fun.
It's so good.
It's so good.
So good. So good.
All right. You want to do some news?
Do we have any?
A little bit.
I would like to do some news.
Okay, well, let's do it.
All right.
Hot off the press and straight to your ears. Weekly Games Chat presents the news.
News! We peaked this week.
We did. We did it.
Yeah.
We did not peak last week, and we said, F that noise.
Someone said, it was too low last week. And I'm like, we'll see how this goes.
Okay. It's like when you go up to, I DJ apparently, and when someone comes up, they're like, it's not loud enough. Okay.
Everyone's about to hate you. Am I first or you?
You can be first.
Oh, you just didn't want to read that long.
No, I'll read it.
No. I got it. No. It's too
the
late.
second one. Will you say it better?
I don't know.
Right. So,
I could just do the Kermit voice.
No,
Heidi ho there.
Don't do the Kermit voice for that one.
MPD for May shows declines. The sales tracking firm MPD reported that software sales for video games are down 11% year over year, while hardware sales were down 20%. Regardless of the weak month, overall sales for 2019 are ahead of 2018 by 2%, totaling $2.2 billion so far. Twitch was the top selling console Switch.
It's okay.
Yeah. Was the top selling console for the month. April's Mortal Kombat 11 is not only again the top selling game, but is now the top selling game for 2019. Your top 10 from the bottom are at 10, NBA 2K, 9, Minecraft, 8, MLB The Show, 7, the greatest game ever, Red Dead Redemption 2, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate 6, 5, course is GTA 5.
Of course it is.
Of course it is.
Greatest game ever.
4, the actual, I think 4 and 3 are the only 2 real new games this month there on this list. 4 is Rage 2, 3 is Total War, The Three Kingdoms, 2 is Days Gone, and number 1, of course, as we said before, Mortal Kombat 11.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't even know. I don't know what Total War Three Kingdoms is. Maybe we should. It's
a PC series. It's like one of those ones where like you got armies and, you build them up and try to attack things. Try to be like, have a sense of realism to them, even though they're armies like from the Roman era. But, you're trying to siege things basically.
I see.
Yeah.
Rage 2, huh?
Yeah. On one hand, I know theirs doesn't include digital sales because Bethesda doesn't give that out, but still, you'd like to see it just even with physical sales be able to get like at least number 2, right? So, but hopefully, Penny hears a dog outside.
Penny got our swag on. She's like, wait a minute. Told you, Penny.
See?
It's enough.
Tell you something.
That's enough, Penny.
Do you want me to attempt it or not?
Do you want me to what? No, I'm not going to say it like that. I'm just going to say it. Begun. The patient wars have.
The patent patient Patient.
The patent wars. That's what I get for trying to talk like
the patent wars have.
Well, you're Kermit. I'm trying to be Yoder. Sony appears to be throwing everything it can at its PS5 in hopes of retaining its sales dominance as it enters the next generation of game consoles. Recently, the company patented a system and method for dynamically loading game software for smooth gameplay. This was a big article I read today. It's going to be really cool if it works. The idea is that the technology will load in data in an advanced way that prevents load screens.
That's not what that says.
I know. A load boundary associated with a game environment is identified. A position of a character in the game environment is then monitored. Instructions corresponding to another game environment are loaded into a memory when the character crosses the load boundary, such that the gameplay is not interrupted. The big way they're going to be able to kind of do this, I was reading, was obviously based on I think it's going to be on the type of RAM and the fact that they're using an SSD.
Yeah, it's like what basically Microsoft was talking about when they were talking about Scarlett. That seems to be the next big thing that these two are pushing for the next gen. And it very well might be like whoever can do it best. I mean, obviously, I think if both just have good working versions of it.
Either way, it's a win-win for us, yeah.
But someone does it much better than the other. You know, we kind of saw this last generation, right? Like where I think at the time people didn't realize just how important 1080 60p, or at the very least true 1080p resolution at launch was going to matter. This could very much matter. And it's cool just because we're finally getting to that point where, you know, sure, you might, like right now, think of something like Red Dead or GTA 5, right? You load in and it takes like 2-3 minutes the first time.
Or when you play Destiny and you're on that ship.
Online, yeah.
And that ship's just flying in. And
well, imagine something that resourced only takes 50 seconds, and then like afterwards it's never a problem loading
you're just
anywhere.
Going.
You're just going.
Amazing. I mean, the article does go on to say, like you mentioned, that the Scarlett also has recently said that it's going to rock an SSD, and they're not going to let the Scarlett's going to be BA. The PS5 should be BA.
Yeah.
So however many thousands of dollars we got to spend to get them, we're going to have
They're
them.
both going to be very Barry Anderson. That's what BA stands for, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I was making sure. I don't know.
Yes.
Remember when Anthem sucked? Well, so does the bonus for EA VPs. Executives at EA are falling on the sword for their small company after the disappointing performance in the 2019 fiscal year. Executives will give up their bonuses after the first down year in over 5 years, a report to the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, that's the SEC.
What?
Yeah, not that SEC.
Roll Tide.
Yeah, we're almost there. The company stated, while we are disappointed with our fiscal 2019 results, we understand the challenges we face, and we will continue to focus on how we can apply the strengths of our company to capitalize on our opportunities. I don't know, like, it's really hard to figure out what it is that... I mean, they have a potential huge year coming up for the next year, right? Because obviously we're not getting Dragon Age this year, so that can't be a negative or a positive for them. But you know that you're getting Fallen Order this fall.
The savior that they need it to be.
I mean, Madden is something that is nowhere near as potent or powerful as it used to be, but it still sells a lot.
Right. FIFA sells.
Yeah, FIFA is the only sports game that rivals 2K? NBA 2K in terms of sales now. I heard talk about Need for Speed, but I don't know if that's coming. They have that game that's coming next month, that artistic one with the shadows and the water and all that kind of stuff, you know?
Yes. I know, but I cannot.
Yeah, I can't remember the name to save my life.
Hey, fun fact about the new iPhone 10s, they let you know that potential spam comes in.
Ooh, potential spam. Potential spam.
And for those of you going, oh, you got a friend named Potential Spam. No, I don't.
He lives in Dayton, Ohio, huh?
Yeah, apparently. No.
But, it's really funny given what the third piece of news of this EA stuff we're going through. Well, how they can do something so right on one end and then
so wrong,
kind of botch something so wrong on the other end.
Yeah, when I read the report about the bonuses and they're dropping them, we work in an environment and we're aware of the worlds of corporate structure and VPs and bonuses and all that stuff.
We work at McDonald's.
I thought it was very cool because the way I read it was that they're giving up their bonuses.
Pretty much.
So that's cool.
Maybe Andrew Wilson's like, guys, you're giving up your bonuses. And they're like, but yacht.
So, but remember when we said, do you remember when Anthem sucked? Well, speaking of Anthem sucking, EA CEO Andrew Wilson finally admitted that Anthem is,
quote,
not working very well. But vows to stand by the game and its publisher, BioWare.
Please, God.
He talked about how the game attempted to bring two gamer demographics together. Quote, one was traditional BioWare story-driven content, and the other was this action-adventure type content. About the 30 or 40-hour mark, they really had to come together and start working in on the Elder game. At that point, everyone kind of went, oh, hang on a minute. Now the calculation is off. The promise was we can play together, and that's not working very well.
I have to say that's dead on.
Yeah,
because
yes,
I remember playing with our friends Jeff and Kevin, and we played this for a week straight. I had a blast. Like the first 30, 40 hours, we had good times. Like there were issues, especially as we got later in the game, we started seeing more bugs. But like for the first part of it, it was all right. But then you got to the end game when you're like, well, man, if it's been this all right for this part and it's had these little issues, if it could just do the end game right, it'll be fine. And we did it for maybe 4 days more, and then we were like, that's it. That's all you got.
Now, I don't think any of us own Anthem anymore.
I have it digitally.
You know what I'm saying? Unless you bought it digitally.
Yeah, I mean, I've been waiting for this Cataclysm, and maybe at some point I might fire it up again and try it, but it's not something that's made me want to rush back. And it's a really painful thing to say because, I love BioWare, but
let me ask you
when
this.
You got issues, you got issues.
What do you think, if it was certain that you'd go back to one of these two games, which do you think is more likely to happen? This game, Anthem, which we just read that story on, and we know where it stands.
Yeah.
Or after all the stuff Bethesda's done for Fallout 76, which one would you think you'd go back to first?
Oh, man.
Just hypothetical, but knowing that you're going back to one in this theory.
As of right now, knowing where they stand and things, I could definitely see myself, especially if with the mod community the way it is with Bethesda, that if they have a lot of good mods on PC at the very least, right? I could see myself going back to that because I had fun. I mean, Casey and we had fun at times. Shout out to Casey. Thoughts and prayers.
Thoughts and prayers. Well, look, they're bringing in stuff that the community was excited about. So I've never played Fallout 76, so I can't go back to it.
The one thing I will say, whatever concerns I have with Fallout 76, Bethesda has shown with their properties, Elder Scrolls Online did not come out to glowing praise. And it's now, it's up to a point now where concurrent players with this new patch are on the level of WoW, which is just crazy to think.
It's up there as far as an MMORPG goes. It's like a big 3 now.
I think it's like when they did their last update, they said like they concurrently 13 million.
Yeah, and that's WoW numbers. That's ESO hanging with WoW. Mm-hmm. And of course, I think the third place winner would be Final Fantasy 14. I can't think of any other MMORPG that has that many concurrent players though.
Yeah.
So that's really good. But yeah, we got another story about EA, don't we, Chris?
Because we're saving EA's worst for last. Sorry.
I see what you did there.
Yeah. This past week, EA testified in an evidence session with the United Kingdom's Parliament's Digital Culture, Media, and Sports Committee about pushback surrounding loot boxes in gaming. EA's VP of Legal and Government Affairs, Kerry Hopkins, gave an interesting take on the subject, saying they are not, in fact, loot boxes, but are instead surprise mechanics. Quote, if you go to, I don't know what your version of Target is, a store that sells a lot of toys, and you do search for surprise toys, what you'll find is that this is something people enjoy. They enjoy surprises. And so It's something that's been part of toys for years, whether it's Kinder Eggs or Hatchimals or LOL Surprise. We do think that the way we have implemented these kinds of mechanics in FIFA, which of course is our big one, our FIFA Ultimate Team in our packs, is actually quite ethical and quite fun, enjoyable to people. Ms. Hopkins also stated EA does not consider these surprise mechanics to be gambling. Like I said, on one hand, Andrew Wilson said something very well with, I think, summarizing how they messed up. I think they did a very good act with as far as saying, look, we're not taking a bonus this year, which is a good thing. I mean, EA wasn't going to go under if they didn't, right? But it's a good thing to say,
move,
look, we don't deserve a bonus. It's good PR. This is not good PR. This makes you look tone deaf, because anyone who has had a kid that's gotten these things, yes, there are surprise mechanics, but there's a big difference. I don't just press a button as many times as I want and consistently get a Hatchimal on an instant delivery service.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
These things are designed, there's not progression with Hatchimals that has tied to how many packs of cards I have. Or how many eggs I have, right? I buy a Hatchimal and I see what I get. And then maybe a couple of weeks later, if I want another one, I can go get another one. It's up to me. It's not an instant delivery. This, though, whether you're talking about 2K, Fortnite, Ultimate Team, I don't care what it is, right? Even Battlefront before they shut that down, right? That's what these are. They are gambling. You are paying. You're basically being dangled a carrot to say, hey, you want this really nice thing, pay us money and we will give you better odds. They literally have packages when they do these weekend.
What you just said, the odds thing, is what to me is the defining
gambling
difference between a Hatchimal. Look, I can't tell you how much money I spent on LOL Surprises with my 8-year-old.
Yeah.
But I see those things after she opens them. Penny did something. We, like you said, we go to the store and I go when I want to go.
Yeah.
It's a different thing. And my chances aren't increased to get I forget what the term is that Tinley says about.
I think of like I'm
not getting the super LOL doll.
Exactly.
By, whatever.
They'll have little runs that they do where it's hey, for this weekend only, we've got this type of card out there. Think of in football, we got a 99 overall Jim Brown you can get, and he's in these types of packs. You'll have a 25% more chance. And we have other variations of Jim Brown that if you go ahead and not just buy what the regular of in cash with this pack would be, which is maybe $7 as opposed to $2.50 that the normal ones you buy are. If you just go ahead and agree to give us $100, we'll go ahead and guarantee you at least get a 95, Jim Brown, a bunch of collectibles that you would need to get other things to just unlock this game through gameplay. And you'll have the kind of packs where you have high certain probability to get all these other cards you would want. You are enticing people there. That's not, that is something very different. You're basically saying, give us a bunch of money up front and do your rolls to see what you get. And yes, they are right. There are a bunch of people that do enjoy, their streams. Mike found this out. Ryan Lee found this out back when he used to stream Madden, that the thing that got him the most views on Twitch at any point, I believe, during his time when he was really streaming, was when he would go spend, $100 and sit there for an hour opening packs for people on there, because people do like to see the cards just because they're unique. So they're right on that part. But the point is that in order to do that, Mike had to go out there and spend $100.
Yeah. It's all about them getting money that people are spending based on these promises. Look, the difference between Fortnite and this is, we've said it 1,000 times. You go to the Fortnite store, and if you like the skin, all it is a skin of your character.
Yeah.
Or you like the glider.
Sure.
You know what? You can buy that glider, and then it's your glider for as long as you play Fortnite.
Correct.
there's no like, hey, if you give us an extra $40, there's a chance that I'll give you this other glider that has a better glide rate with it. It's, you know what I mean? They do it simple. They make plenty of money doing it. Why in the F word can't anybody else figure this out?
If it's not what they say it is, why is it that with the pro streamers on YouTube and all that and Twitch, why is it basically
and
that
Mixer?
EA,
shout out to Mixer.
Oh yeah, shout out to Mixer. Thoughts and prayers to Mixer. What if why is it that EA is just so easily giving them this game for free, which is what they usually do, right? Because they all have diamond stats and Madden and all that. Yeah. They give them the game for free. You know why they do it? Because they know the very first day that this game is made available to them, and they usually make it available early, compared to everyone else, to them, right? Because they want them to be influencers. Yeah. Why is it that basically all these people have admitted what they do is they just save up all over the summer cash, and on the very first day, they'll spend like $2,000 opening up packs, buying packs, and then just sitting there opening them on their streams? It's because it gets them, views. And and if you're EA, it gets you a lot of money very quickly on top of what would have been a $60 game, right? I
mean, in fairness, Miss Hopkins and the way she's trying to say it,
it's a lawyer.
It's close, but it's also so far off the mark.
Yeah,
I can't help but think about like when I was a kid and I wanted baseball cards. I never knew it was in the cards. But I could buy the Upper Deck, whatever year it was, full box.
Yes.
If I wanted to. For me, that is different. I don't know why. It's still packs, it's still sports cards, but it was a way that it was a collection. And I think that's the big difference. It's a physical thing I'm holding in my hand. It's a collection. Where this game is going to go away, and then the next season is going to come out, and you're going to have to buy all new things again. I don't know. They're swinging and missing when it comes to this. They get it together with it. Just don't tie stats to it, or just make it where it's just a skin, Chris. That's all they got to do.
Just do it.
Oh my God. Hey, but thanks to NBA 2K19, we're going to go ahead and move on from EA.
There you go.
We all know Snowfall 2 is coming soon. Season 2. Yeah. Starting this past Saturday, players of NBA 2K19 noticed a big change when loading up various modes in the game.
Your boy included.
And that would be Chris Love. An unskippable ad for FX's Snowfall. While it's not uncommon for the game to advertise various entities in NBA 2K TV, these videos are always skippable. Soon after the commercial was uploaded to the game, the NBA 2K Reddit community, see John, Reddit is, started posting their disapproval with one poster saying, quote, unskippable ads in a $60 game, bad
Barry
word.
Anderson.
Barry Anderson 2K, end quote. The post has since become the most upvoted, see John, upvoting is, post of all time for the community.
Yeah, I love 2K. I think they make the most complete sports game. There's no question about that.
Hands down.
But at the same time, this is the kind of stuff they do to its fan base that just drives it crazy. And like stuff like this, like there are times on the weekends like where you'll just see they partner with GameStop for VC sales.
Yeah, and it's unskippable.
It's not unskippable, but like wherever you look, you're just seeing consistently signs for VC sales at GameStop.
Someone's trying to tell me something.
Yeah, I feel like I need to drive to my local GameStop. Things like that. The fact that even when we're talking about like the last story there, the fact that they start players off so low and they've made it this big grind thing to get it to 99 as opposed to saying like, all right, we're going to start you with the same stats as any other first round pick in the draft, right? Like you're 72 overall. Build up. It's like, nah, man, you start at like 60. Good luck, unless you want to give us like
good luck, bro.
Yeah, unless you want to give us like $100K or what's called VC currency.
VC, yeah. You just basically said virtual currency.
Yeah.
You know that, right?
Yeah, I did, didn't I?
Yeah.
But these are the kinds of things, and like I don't like it because one, Snowfall is a very adult show, and I hate to be that kind of person. Like, look,
you're being that guy, Chris.
Yeah, I don't want to. Like, in the end, there are a lot of kids teenagers and such that play basketball, right?
Yeah, I would say the community's highly populated with younger kids.
There's people my age, and it goes all, there's probably people older than me, and then there's definitely a ton of youth. Yeah. Youth basketball is a youth-driven culture. And the thing you're advertising that's not skippable is literally a show about how cocaine and crack took over L.A.
Yeah, if you didn't know at this point, snowfall is a code word of cocaine.
Yes.
See, cocaine looks like snow, huh? When it's pure.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, I see. But
see, a bump is.
I mean, I just hopefully they don't do this kind of stuff again. Obviously they're gonna have to honor this. There's no way you can be like, hey, FX,
it turns out our people that read it and the users didn't like it. So you're great. I love you, but
all your ratings are huge.
They need to just pick a better show for that game.
Don't do it,
or don't do it. Right? Yeah. You know what? I'm a gamer. What am I talking about? Don't do that.
Like, there are plenty of advertisements in this game, and I don't have a problem with them. Like, when I'm playing the game. And you got Nike in there.
It works.
And Adidas and Gatorade and all that.
All that works.
I don't care if Foot Locker's on there. It makes sense that Foot Locker's in this game.
But when Chuck E. Cheese is on there.
Yeah.
Wait, that would work too.
Like, I don't want to fire this up and it'd be like when I go to the gas station, I start pumping gas.
Oh, my God.
And they're like, by the way, let's talk about this. And you're like,
I just want to pump gas, bro.
All I want to do is get gas. Why do you think this would make me have a positive view of whatever you're advertising?
With all that said, did you watch the first season of Snowfall?
No, I need to, though.
That's super awesome.
Because you know what? I heard this week that season 2's coming.
Yeah, I heard a thing or two about a season 2 or 2.
Theodore Logan, that's Ted, explains why he joined Cyberpunk 2077. There's no question that Keanu Reeves' surprise appearance at Xbox's E3 briefing,
the greatest thing at E3,
and inclusion in CD Projekt Red Cyberpunk 2077 was the biggest and most well-received surprise from E3 2019. The actor, though, recently sat down with IGN and shared his thoughts on why he joined the ambitious game, saying, quote, "Part of the attraction for me was that not only was it my face, but they were asking me to perform a role, and a cool one," Reeves said. "I really love the format of the game, and some of the questions it asks, what's revealed, and what it demands of the player. There are some interesting choices that have to get made."
Dude, that just hyped me up so much.
He's just like so perfect.
He's the greatest PR guy, the greatest person to have on your team. I love Keanu Reeves, a.k.a. Theodore Logan.
What will be the greatest character to come out of 2019 from Keanu Reeves? Will it be Duke Kaboom? Will it be Johnny Silverhand? Or will it be John Wick? I mean, John Wick, of course, has been around.
But it's still a John Wick. Yeah. That's a great question because, again, Duke Kaboom, awesome. Or
himself in that Netflix movie that he plays.
My God.
Because that's a great parody of himself, too.
That's an amazing... You know what? If we don't do a Twitter poll, that's a great one. I would love to hear from the listeners. I challenge you to say what the best Keanu Reeves will be this year. Let's see if you do.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, the news team, when John's here, they wouldn't have thought about saying Theodore Logan.
I like to feel like since he's been gone, I'm part of the news
team. Since he's been gone.
Right? Now he's been gone, I feel like I've unofficially become part of the news team again.
But do you understand Theodore Logan, how well that is?
Yeah.
That's
You're
Ted,
welcome.
Bro.
Yeah, I did that.
You did. That's fantastic. You're the greatest.
Yeah. Thank you.
Well, the greatest game of 2019 hopes to inspire the greatest Zelda sequel.
Ooh.
Talking with IGN Zelda producer IG Aonuma revealed that Red Dead Redemption IG Aonuma revealed that Red Dead Redemption 2 I don't want to have to read this part.
The top selling game of the past 12 months and the top selling game of 2018.
Shout out to John. Is inspiring the design of the sequel of Breath of the Wild 2. The staff on the game has gotten younger since the first Breath of the Wild. Is that even possible? That was like 2 years ago.
I don't know. That's what he was saying.
Yeah. Aonuma asked them what they were playing. Quote, "Something I did hear that a lot of people were playing was Red Dead Redemption 2, end quote. The producer has previously said when working on the first game, he was playing Skyrim. Makes sense, right? Only one can hope this means
psychedelic.
I know that word, but I was trying to read ahead to see what you were going to say about it because you obviously tied in something.
Yes.
One can only hope this means psychedelic drunk Link gameplay missions will be in Breath of the Wild 2.
That was a great moment in that game.
I guess, man.
You go to a bar and you start drinking absinthe, and it goes downhill real quick. But yeah, I think, I hate to say my usual thing, and John always gives me crap for, way overplayed, John.
Makes sense.
It makes sense. Like, what do you do? Like, if you're, everyone who makes open world games obviously said, okay, what's this game doing? They probably also looked at Assassin's Creed Odyssey too last year and said, what is this game doing? So
the real question really is, why in the world during the making of Breath of the Wild was he playing Skyrim?
Because, you know why? I know why. Because everyone said, remember when Skyrim came out? Everyone like started playing that and said, I would love it if there was a Legend of Zelda like
Maybe.
this.
But the way I'm reading this is that it was like 20. When do you think they started making Skyrim?
Well, yeah, no, that
And he's
came
playing
out in
Skyrim.
2011.
I understand it's been on you can play it literally on any device at this point.
It literally took it coming to their fridges to finally figure out, you know what, I should give Skyrim a chance.
I should probably get Skyrim.
They're like, this is great. Look at that dragon. We got to have that in the game.
And speaking of Skyrim, I swear that Skyrim VR, when it was announced, people played it, they said it sucked. But now I'm seeing and hearing things that Skyrim's a must play on VR.
That's cool.
What happened?
Maybe they patched it. To the future.
In the future.
But still, it's awesome to hear that. I really hope maybe they take the one thing we can say about Breath of the Wild that, in my opinion, that's critical of it, is that time its world, because of it, just feels very empty, but not, to me at least, it wasn't in a way that I was like, this isn't being done on purpose at all times. This is being done because of resources and maybe limitations of what they could do. If you could bring in something ambitious of like how that world was, the transition of Red Dead, like where you go from these very quiet, open, very spacious, open, but isolated areas to suddenly the sensation you get when you see another human in that world, and you're like, friend or foe, here we go.
You kind of, you remember in obviously you do in Breath of the Wild when you finally made it to a stable or a,
yeah.
It felt good to kind of see it up ahead, and you'd walk up to it. If they could enhance on that a little bit, I understood why Breath of the Wild was quiet like it was too, because of the calamity and all that stuff. I get it. But let's see where this takes it. And if they do, like, look, I'm going to give credit where credit's due. If they draw some inspiration from a game that is as good, as Red Dead,
top selling.
and top selling of all time and all that, whatever. Then obviously I'm excited to play it. So
yeah, I mean, you can only hope.
Yeah, man, it's going to be good. Or Zelda overload now, huh?
True.
Say that again, Chris. Say true.
Finally this week.
Whoa!
Finally this week. Is it one or two? Over the past year, there have been various rumors that Microsoft is planning two consoles. How do you say it, John?
I'm trying to say it like 2 chains.
Yeah, no, do it.
It's tough. 2 consoles
for the next generation. One that would be cheaper and appeal to more mainstream audiences, and another design to be the most powerful console available on the market.
Kind of like right now.
Yeah. However, rumors are now indicating that Microsoft will ditch the cheaper console and just focus on one powerful box for Project Scarlett. Even in a recent interview with Business Insider, Xbox president and resident cool guy,
and
Phil
the coolest
Spencer.
person in the world.
Yeah, now Reggie's gone. There's just no question who's the coolest guy at a company, right?
Hey, Reggie's still alive.
But he's like,
you said he's gone. He's
I
not
feel
gone.
like he's just like out somewhere going like, is my body ready still?
His body's a wonderland. Wait,
John
what?
Mayer? I'm going to see him Saturday. But Phil Spencer responded to a question about his words from 2018 when he said consoles, that's plural, are when announcing Project Scarlett. Sorry. Quote, last year we said consoles, and we've shipped a console. That would be the all-digital Xbox One that just came out in May. And now we've detailed another console. I think that's plural, a.k.a. suggesting...
He's like, hey, guys.
What I meant was...
See, what had happened was...
reports have suggested that while two consoles might have been the original intention of Project Scarlett, problems arose with developers and overall strategy, forcing the company to shift its focus, which is probably the right thing to do if you got a problem.
And if they really were going to do a cheap one in the Scarlett, that's an amazing way to go. Well, I said consoles, and we did ship one. It's a great way to cover that up.
Yeah. It's smooth on his part, but I think it's also the right call. Because honestly, short of going down to a level of it being a Stadia thing where you don't need to buy a box, or it being say on par with buying a Fire Stick or a Chromecast, Apple TV. You're not going to win people over by having the cheaper one. They're just going to want the heavy priced one, and they'll wait till it drops to a price range that they're comfortable with.
I agree.
It's more when you go and you say, okay, this has been out for a little bit, and now we've got a little bit more powerful, more efficient one that's coming out, kind of like they did with the X, right?
Yeah.
Or the S even compared to the OG Xbox One. And you say, okay, this is here, and this is the price for this. And you can still get this original one for a cheaper price if you want. So you're putting out options. That's what you should do. You should do it later on, I think, is the better way. But really, I would tell them now, just wait, because again, the way all this streaming stuff is going, who knows where you're going to be in 3 years?
They obviously, they probably have a better understanding of where they think the market's going to go, based on.
We thought that in 2013, but
turns out,
yeah,
we'll see. I'm just excited with Stadia. With the new Xbox, the new PlayStation, the deets are coming out. There's still that rumor that at some point a better Switch could come out, almost like their version of a Switch Pro. It's a good time, and we're on the horizon of some good stuff.
Zero Dawn?
What, Horizon Zero Dawn?
You said Horizon.
I could say that.
Everyone stand down, Horizon Zero Dawn launch. He's still not playing. Worst.
I'm like, I got a cough on the horizon. Oh my God.
Shaun.
Yes, sir.
You want to wrap this up?
That would be a negative. Never.
Just to be safe.
Electronics future man.
Look at all that peakage.
We peaked. We went
so beautiful.
We went all the way. You remember All the Way May and League of Their Own?
Yes, I do.
I do.
Oh,
it's
man.
nice. It's a good show. Tom Hanks. Every time I pee long, I think about Tom Hanks in that movie.
Old Jimmy Fox.
Yeah.
Name drop.
Name drop. Hey, do the name drop.
But man, I need to rewatch that movie.
I need to go get this cough out.
That's
I really
fine.
do.
Well,
what are you going to do first?
I'm going to do what we always do. The emails.
Just improvise. I got to go cough.
All right. Well, if you want
I'm not going to be loud, okay?
If you want to write your oh God. If you want to write your thoughts and opinions in, you can do so by writing them to weeklygameschat@gmail.com. That's weeklygameschat@gmail.com. And I would keep going, but he's still hacking. So instead, I will say, if you want to watch some interesting gameplay, I hope it's kind of interesting, you can come check out our Twitch stream, which is twitch.tv/weeklygameschat. You can find us there every Monday night at the very least at 8 p.m. We were both on there as we were doing our Hyrule last night. And Shaun actually has his channel up now, DJ Haygood. So if you ever not following him on Twitch TV, it's DJ_Haywood. Or Haygood,
Yeah.
HEYGOD. Yeah. So check that out.
If you're in the Discord or on our Twitch, you should get that notification.
Yeah, notifications are on there now on Twitch, so you should see it there. But anyways, back to emails again, weeklygameschat@gmail.com. That's weeklygameschat@gmail.com. Just like Tej did. the Teach.
Is this the Teach?
This is the Teach.
It's been a while, right?
He says, help, please. Sup, fellers?
What's up, Teach?
I hope he put it like that just so you'd hope the country come out.
We don't speak, as you say, country, Chris.
Yeah.
At least we don't think we do.
No, we do.
What's his name? I think, is it
Geoff?
No, somebody calls me Ricky Bobby.
Yeah. Oh, you can have nowhere. Like yours is interesting because it comes out of nowhere.
I don't mean for it to.
I know. Like even there.
What happened?
A little bit of southern twang right there. I don't mean for it to.
I did not sound like that. You're lying.
Let's go to the tape.
Rewind.
But anyways, he says, I did a bad thing the other day. I was on a flight for work and whipped out the old Switch. As long as that's what you whip out on a plane, you're okay.
When I thought you were going to say Richard, so this is good.
Yeah. And started playing some Zelda. The older lady next to me saw this and made the comment, aren't you a little old to be playing video games? And I'm not really good with confrontation and said, oh, this is for work. I'm actually getting paid for this, which is a lie. Liar. Well, that wasn't enough, and she decided to press the subject, so I confessed that I was a co-host of a successful podcast, Weekly Games Chat, and introduced myself as Shaun.
Yes.
Liars!
Well, let's pause there. I hate people that want to give they're like strangers that want to give you 2 cents on what they believe. First of all, get off me. You don't understand. I'm like you. I don't like confrontation.
Aren't you a little old to be podcasting?
But this lady would have got the look of death from me. And she would have instantly known. She would have known I need to not mention anything about this anymore. But, Shaun, it's great that you wrote in. Let's continue the story, Chris.
You'd be like, are you a little bit old to have a brick to the face? And she'd be like, what? And then
no, I would have said something like, have you ever been thrown out of an airplane?
Huh? We wouldn't do that. She was impressed, and we got to talking, and she even had me show her how to download the show on her iPhone. I told her I would give her a shout out on the next episode, and so now you see the pickle I'm in.
Well, this is funny because lady on plane,
initially I was going to ask for Shaun to pretend to be me and give this lady a mention. On further introspect, I have decided I have nothing to prove with this woman. That's fair. And would prefer to call her out for antiquated views of gaming and just generally being a terrible person. Man, that's harsh. So my request to you guys is this. Please have John read the following text. And I ask that he read it with the same passion he has for union busting.
Well, John's not here.
Yeah, John's not here, but I will. Yeah.
Do you want me to, or you do it? You do it.
Oh.
You want to do it?
Yeah.
You got this?
I got this. Listen here, Karen.
Is there? If that's hopefully her name's not really Karen.
I don't know.
If it is,
it's funny.
Karen, people game. It's a big thing.
Right?
Big.
I don't need you to approve of my life choices or hobbies. Don't act like you're disappointing me. You're not my mom. Maybe instead of being so involved in what other people do in their free time, you should focus on your own life and how it's slowly falling apart. Yes, I looked at your phone over your shoulder while you were using it.
Oh my God.
Your kids look like the parents are related.
Oh my God.
And that your outfit you pick for your friend's wedding is tacky. I hope this message reaches you and that maybe in the future you will be less judgmental of strangers.
If this is real, if he really met a lady on a plane who chastised him for playing a Switch, if he really said he was Shaun, got her to download the show, and if this is really the first show she's listening to, she knows that this happened. This is uneffing believable that it's crazy.
Hey, Karen, for real, though.
Thanks for listening to the show.
Yeah, thanks for if you're actually here. Thanks for checking us out. We didn't feel this way. I don't
even know you. This guy named Tej tried to act like he was me.
This dude's just being a D.
It's like, I mean, really.
But really, Karen, everyone games. Don't get too bothered about it. You know.
Think about it. You ruffled the feathers of a listener of our fine podcast. Thanks, Tej, for listening.
Yeah, thank you, Tej.
To a point where, like, he literally had to write into a podcast because you judged him. Like, let's all let people be what they are.
What if Karen's in there right now going, I hate unions too?
Right. If you do happen to hate unions, we got a show for you, Karen.
Yeah, right.
But yeah,
go back.
Let people be themselves. Okay.
He closes his letter by saying that was about as family friendly as I could make that. Anyways, Dead by Daylight is on Games Pass, and I would love to hear you guys review the game. Probably not going to happen.
Wow, you shut him down like as soon as you read it.
Tej already took down Karen. He ain't running this show.
Dude, you can. Oh my god.
Let me put. Tej already false impersonated you, and you're okay with this.
Well, because
he took down Karen.
Yeah,
and now he's trying to tell us what the topic.
He got us a download.
Yeah, that's true. That's fair. In theory.
Do you know how bad I'd whore myself out for a download?
You will just sell yourself for anything.
Hey, bro. Excuse me. A 20 is a 20. You know what I'm saying?
All right, Karen. It's definitely worth playing since it's free. I could even hop on with you guys and show you the ropes.
First
Just
of all,
like you hopped on Sean's identity.
Yeah. First of all, I'll show you my ropes, sir. Joke. Oh my god, that's fantastic.
That's all I got for emails this week. Well, you guys, if you want to tell us how you feel about things, make sure you write in. Otherwise, I got to read a text from Tej to Karen, wherever she's at. She's probably like gives her time every week at the.
She's probably at 9.
Yeah, she gives her time at the homeless and does all these good things. And she was like, "Now, don't you think you're a little old to be playing games?" Because she then followed that statement up by saying, "You should come down to the homeless shelter with me and help the needy." And this guy was just like, Tej was like, "F that." Maybe that's how he is. I don't know. I wasn't there. Sean, you're taking forever to pull up Twitter.
I got it. We're good.
Okay. That's Weekly Games Chat on Twitter.
It is. I want to say, when was 6/18/19? Is that within the time frame if I can?
That was last week.
So I did read, I want to bring you back to speed. Have you guys thought about getting a used store sponsor? I did read that from Drevin. So I think we replied to that. I swear we did. Anyway, I'm messing up. So that tweet went out there from Drevin about us getting a used game store to sponsor the show. I liked the tweet. So then Drevin said, now I like the tweet again. Well, then PSN Vintage _1985 chimed in, and this is awesome. You never wrap up, so why should Horizon Zero Dawn be any different? That's funny because he mentioned, we don't wrap up. David McClendon showed some fan art of,
nice.
I think of Link and Mipha. If you remember Breath of the Wild, Mipha was important.
Yeah.
And he said that might be some of the best fan art they've ever seen. I'm going to go ahead and like that now. You guys should check it out.
For sure.
David McClendon also said at Weekly Games Chat, a future episode perhaps. Sounds like a game John might like. Game on. Hashtag game on. Hashtag your wife. Outer Worlds.
Outer Worlds for sure we will do. Not Outer Wild, right? But Outer Worlds.
Outer Wilds.
Oh, it is Outer Wilds.
Yeah, if I said Worlds, my apologies.
Yeah, I've actually played this game a little bit. I don't know if John would be about that.
It's somebody, Kotaku.
Yeah.
Somebody I go.
A lot of people, it's got a really cool twist to it that it does.
So is this fair, Chris? It says it's a cross between Metroid, Majora's Mask, and Return of the Obra Dinn.
Sure.
You're like,
I don't know if it's that. I haven't gone that far in it. I did play a little bit.
That's what he said.
Interesting.
That's what David McClendon said that Kotaku said, man. I'm just reading what the people say.
Kotaku in there.
I'm just doing the thing, man.
Ooh.
Oh, we finally, since you didn't go in and like everybody, we do have a new follower. Ooh. And we thank you. It's at Stacy_CMNH.
Nice.
I do want to read what you do because it's amazing, and I'm a big fan of this. Stacy is a veteran of Children's Miracle Network hospitals, and she helps new partners and programs raise vital funds for for 170 children's hospitals. That is amazing. Thank you so much, Stacy, for listening to this fine podcast. We appreciate people like you. You're awesome.
For sure.
I think that's all I got. It's a very short week as far as that goes. I'm
going to read this on here from the Discord just because it was asked, and I want to remind myself to do this. So keep this on here. One of our dudes wrote on here and said, you guys, Ameni324 said, you guys are doing a great job for the podcast. I have one suggestion about the descriptions. It would be cool if you guys could start adding the time when the topic starts in your videos. The reason I'm asking this is because there's always a game on sale that you reviewed. But when I go back to your old videos where you've reviewed that game, I have to find when you started the review. It's something super minor. and it might be that I'm just lazy. Anyways, thanks for your time. And I came back and said, we will force everyone to listen to sports talk, because people talked about the fact that you can't just skip our weekly sports talk. You have to endure it. But I said, if I remember, I will make sure to include the timestamp. Now, if you're watching on YouTube through there, there's not much I can do for you there, because I don't do the timestamp on like where you can just click a link. But I will put, it should be there in the description where you could just read and say like, hey, down here it says topic time, this month, this minute marker, and you should be able to skip to it. So if you're listening to this now going forward, hopefully when you look down there, you should see it.
Yeah. And if you've noticed, that intro part, it got dubbed to be a sports part.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Mm-hmm. Because we all like sports. But we try to make that a medley. We talk about as many things as possible. And yes, I see somebody said only a few more months before football and Alabama SEC talk.
It's coming.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Definitely going to see Duke play us.
It is what it is. But yeah, I think that's it for the fan interaction. And that's a lot of
We're shutting it down.
No. Shut up. That's what a lot of them refer to that as, is like we have our intro medley, we have our topic, we have our news, and then we have the outro ish.
I get what he's saying though. Like I would, if I'm just wanting to hear about the game, and it's, as he's saying, like I'm going back and going, oh, that game's on sale now. And I actually already heard this one part, but I want to go back and hear what they said again to see if I want to buy this game. I get like a 2-hour podcast.
It makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense.
Just having marks for that makes sense.
Yeah. I'm just lazy.
I don't think that's what it is.
No, that's primarily what it is.
It's definitely what it is.
But that said, this has been episode 210 of
it seemed 200 we streamed live.
Yeah, no, weeks ago.
That seems like so long ago.
It was like last season.
What does that mean?
Because it's summer now, and we did it in the spring.
Oh, that's what you mean.
See what I did?
Like literal season.
Yeah.
Okay.
The equinox was this past weekend. I remember. But that said, if you like the show, you can subscribe to us on iTunes or whatever podcast service you like to use, and you'll get a new episode just like this one every Wednesday for your listening pleasure. If you're there and they have a rating system, make sure you give us a nice high rating. Unless you hate John, then just make sure you comment somewhere that it's John's fault. That
would make me so happy.
Right? But at the same time, don't do it as a joke.
Yeah.
Really, we need you to give us high reviews.
Yeah. Fair point, Chris.
What we got to do for you? You heard what Shaun would do for $20.
20's a 20, bro.
But yeah, it does help people find the show. If you want to find us, we are on social media such as Facebook, Twitter, and we also have a Discord. If you're looking for a easy direct link from our social media pages to the Discord, there is a pinned tweet at the top there that has a link
John,
to it.
A pinned tweet is.
When are we getting on TikTok? I don't know why we would be on TikTok. We're not 15.
Yeah, but so many cool things are on TikTok.
Are they? I feel like whenever I pulled up, there's
it's like the new Vine.
It's like, yeah, no, but like it's a lot of kids lip syncing.
True.
That's it. Like there's maybe one or two interesting things. And there's always the hack magician that either has like some visual, hypnosis thing to make your room spin for 5 seconds, or else he's like doing a math problem that
I just snorted. That's the first snort in my life from laughing.
And then like the other 90% of TikTok users are just teenagers like taking a sound bite and singing in the camera.
I can't tell you how far away we are from teenage years.
Yeah, I know.
But they were so long ago.
But that's cool. Hey, that's their thing. I hope they have fun.
You're the one who said TikTok.
Yeah, I know. Because I got TikTok. I still don't understand how to use everything on there. But there are some good videos.
Oh, my God.
But anyways. Shaun.
Yeah.
Game on.
Game on, Chris.
Game on to John, wherever he is.
John, wherever you are, game on, sir.
Your mom's box!
Peace out, everybody.
Thug life!
It's fantastic.
I know.